Welcome to Speaking in Spoons with your host, Christina Brookman.
Hi, this is Christina Brookman, your host for Speaking in Spoons, a chronically ill podcast, and this is a Spoonie Sunday. Um, we just released our episode on traumatic brain injury, also known as TBI, with Joe Beth, and we've gotten some great feedback. I wanted to share. Someone emailed me about their experience with traumatic brain injury and their connection to Joe Beth's story. Um, Especially the coma part. She talked about the co-host and I had posed the question. We weren't sure if that's something that, if Joe Beth could hear during the coma, if people could hear during comas. And our listener said that when she was in her coma for her brain injury, she could not hear, but her mother would have signs that would say, always be positive. If you're visiting, speak positively, because she wanted her daughter surrounded by positive energy, positive, support. And she thinks that maybe her body subconsciously heard that. And I completely, wholeheartedly believe that. They say that, you know, um, words are healing, energy is healing. Joe Beth's mother, who would massage her and exercise her legs while she was in the coma, all of that, we sense our loved ones. And we sense that support. So I think that was incredibly intuitive and smart of our listener's mother to have those signs and say, only positive energy in this room for my daughter. Like, that's incredible advocacy. Um, our listener also brought up something that I think is, she talked about with her experience with brain injury, having to relearn, um, essentially, like, being potty trained again, relearning how to know when she had to go to the bathroom to not wet herself or soil herself. I realize that's something we don't talk about that much with people, because we're embarrassed, but it's something that many conditions experience. I talked about it a little bit a couple weeks ago, but I mean, and I've mentioned, I'm incontinent because of my Ehlers-Danlos. Actually, they um, did a test on my bladder years ago and just said that it just would not hold. Um, and there's surgeries you could do and things like that, but it usually makes it worse. So, I've had to wear I call them my diapers, my adult diapers. And I wear pads now, but I've wet the bed. A couple weeks ago, I pooped the bed and my boyfriend had to clean it and me up. And it is, like my listener said, it's humiliating. I'm 41 years old, and to have someone wipe your butt and clean you like you're an infant is humiliating. My ex-husband did that for me years ago, post-surgery, when I had surgery on my hip. So I think it's something many people experience. I know people with diabetes and things like that, it affects it, with multiple sclerosis. I have loved ones with multiple sclerosis where that affects, and also intimacy. We've talked about that a little bit, but sex drives can get changed by medication that many people are on. And for women, that mostly, just affects sex drive. But for men, the medication, but also certain medical conditions can affect, erectile function. And it's something many people are embarrassed to talk about. But I think what I'm learning, um, I love that our listener, sent in this message and laughed about it and talked about it, because we do have to, we need to not be ashamed. We need to laugh. Everybody poops, everybody pees, right? And we need to just realize we are not alone, I think. And that's what's so beautiful about this. Hearing her talk about that, I was like, wow, I've never been in a coma. I don't have a brain injury, but I cried a little and I laughed because I was like, I know exactly how you feel. Like, I remember being in the grocery store one day and I was like, I can't hold it. And I just started leaking. I started peeing in the middle of a grocery store. And what I did was, I was like, you know what? If I just keep looking straight, if I just keep looking straight, nobody will notice. Like, they're not going to notice that I'm peeing myself in the middle of a grocery aisle. They're just going to think maybe somebody else did it, or there's water on the floor. I don't know. But I just kept walking like nothing happened.
Was it in the chair?
Oh my God. My boyfriend just heard that. Is like, why didn't you tell me you peed yourself? You peed yourself in the grocery store and now you're telling everybody? I mean, this is exactly what I'm talking about, that we can't feel ashamed and embarrassed.
So
Quiet.
you didn't tell me.
I kn-
Say, hey, honey, I just peed.
I'm recording. I'm recording. Oh my God. People need to talk about things. I'm still recording. Yeah, so I just kept walking down the aisle and walked out the store and nobody was the wiser. Um, yeah, I really did that. But what I'm saying is, how many of you out there have done that? Okay, you maybe not have done that, but have wet the bed or know somebody who has somebody, a loved one is experiencing incontinence of bladder or bowel or erectile dysfunction. These things happen. Many things that we go through medical happen, and it's embarrassing and it's scary. But if we don't talk about it, if we're scared to tell our doctors, I know someone who tried to share something like this with a doctor and he made fun of her. He made fun of her and she felt like it was just something wrong with her and she should have never told her doctor. And years went by before she ultimately went to a specialty clinic for her gastrointestinal issues and realized she had a serious problem that she needed medication and treatment for, and is now possibly having some other surgeries and procedures. So shame on that doctor for making her feel, like there was something wrong with her, or embarrassed to have shared it, because who else are you supposed to share it with? You're supposed to share it with your doctor. So if you're a doctor out there listening, let your patients feel comfortable with you to share things like that, because you are the person that they should feel comfortable sharing. And loved ones create that environment too, because they may need your help sharing it with a doctor, because it is very hard. It's very embarrassing. um I also wanted to share some news. So I've been talking, you all know, one of my conditions is hemiplegic migraines. I've had a very rough week with that. I think all of March has just been, a lot of it's the weather. Um, and I've just had like back-to-back days of paralysis. This is actually my first day where I haven't had paralysis. Um, knock on wood. So it's very, very exciting. Um, but I had a health this week with my um, neurologist assistant, and she had met with him, and in preparation for this, because I told him I cannot live like this. It's constant, it's daily, it's just so disabling and disruptive. And I'm used to being disabled, but this is like a whole other level of disability that is just, I thought I was going to get to work again. And it's very heartbreaking to, when going to the grocery store I did today was like, it's like a vacation, getting out of the house and going to the grocery store um, was huge. It was a huge monumental event for me. But anyways, my neurologist actually thinks I have a condition called MUMS, migraine with unilateral movement, which is not as rare as hemiplegic migraines. And he said a lot of people that are diagnosed with hemiplegic migraines are actually misdiagnosed with hemiplegic migraines, because both of the conditions are rare and, just weird, and, look like strokes or like other things. And most neurologists and doctors just aren't, and emergency rooms just aren't prepared for these conditions. He actually got a fellowship at a, a headache center, like a specialty headache center. And there's very few articles. I asked him to send me like some information, so I'm getting, good information, not just like WebMD or something. And they were great. They sent that to me. And I think, and my friend, well, Lexi, the co-host, sent a link to Migraine Girl on TikTok, who also just recently got diagnosed with MUMS. And I was watching her video and I was like, that's exactly what I experienced. That's crazy. Well, not exactly, but very, very similar. And I think it's just great connecting with other people like this. And to our listener that messaged in, I'd love to have more episodes on traumatic brain injury, like we are doing. In, like she mentioned, because every experience is different, and it's just impossible for us to get like a bunch of different people for every condition and truly represent everything that a single condition could have. Because like with my conditions or with Lexi's or with Nate's conditions, you could get 5 different people in a room and they all have the same condition, but it's all experienced differently. But I think it would be great to just keep having episodes and bringing people in and letting them share their stories and learning from them. And there is universality in everybody's experience, even if parts of it are different. But that gave me that idea. So thank you to that listener. But anyways, back to the mums. They're taking it very seriously. Because be it hemiplegic migraines or mums, and they haven't settled on either. They are both very serious and complex migraine conditions. So I'm actually going to be getting infusions of a new medication. And we'll start that, and then they're looking to add Botox on top of that. And I had a little eye emergency this week, and the ophthalmologist said that I had not only damage to the eye, but I had veins that were growing. I'm going to be messing this up, but basically my Sjogren's, my eyes are just extremely dry. And I've tried Restasis before and it doesn't work. But she said there's this new thing where they actually take your plasma and turn it into eye drops. And for people that have extremely dry eyes, like I do with Sjogren's, and regular drops and Restasis, traditional things haven't worked, this works. So I'm looking forward to trying this and seeing how that process goes. And also, happy April Fools. Well, I guess this will be April 2nd, but it's like a little April Fools. And we've got a great month coming for you. We're doing accessibility in the arts. That's going to be this month. And then Hannah's book, I'll Pray for You and Other Things Said to Disabled People. So check that out. The link is on Amazon, and the bios for the artistic directors that are in our talk back on accessibility in the arts is also on our website. They're got incredible background. So, and this discussion was just really exciting. I think you're going to love it. We're going to have to break it down into 2 episodes. So, stay tuned for more information, and happy spoons. Thank you.
If you want to contact us, please send a DM or email to speakinginspoons@gmail.com with any stories you have or would like to interview with us on any of our upcoming topics. And check out our website for all of our upcoming episodes and what's happening in the Speaking Spoons community at www.speakinginspoons.com. Thank you for listening to Speaking in Spoons, and have a great day.